Let me tell you a story. Maybe it's one you've heard before. A man wakes up to find he's transformed into a giant beetle. Or maybe it's a little-known and slightly odd folktale from Japan. A beautiful and mysterious woman appears out of nowhere, but she has a secret. There's a voracious mouth buried in the hair on the back of her head. Or it could be one of my own stories. Say a young teenage girl who has just lost her family discovers while living at her grandparents' old home that she can enter the space between awake and asleep and communicate with the beasties who live there. My name is Thersa Matsuura, and my big passion in life is stories. I have 2 short story collections out, A Robe of Feathers and The Carp-Faced Boy, the last one of which was nominated for a Bram Stoker Award alongside Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. I also have stories in anthologies, journals, and serialized in newspapers. So that's one way of telling a story, writing them down. Another way is through audio, hence the 2 podcasts, and my venture into Patreon. So what is this Patreon thing, you ask? Simply put, Patreon is a way for listeners and fans of an artist to help support their creations. In return, you, the supporter, get some kind of unique content or benefit, as well as the creator's undying gratitude. Before I get into what rewards I offer to my patrons, let me tell you a little bit about what I do. So besides the writing I just mentioned, I have 2 podcasts that I just mentioned. The first one is Uncanny Japan, which I started in late 2016. It was a way to tell like-minded people about all these fascinating and little-known tidbits of culture and superstition, folklore, and language. Because, you see, I've been living 30-plus years here, and that's another part of who I am. You'll notice a lot of Japanese-tinged content on the Patreon page, recipes, binaurally recorded sounds of Japan, and of course, a monthly translated, retold, and reimagined folktale. I've been doing Uncanny Japan for a couple years now, and from some very humble beginnings, I've not only learned a few of the ropes, garnered a little bit of confidence, and am having so much wonderful communication with patrons and listeners, but I also learned I might possibly have a superpower that I was quite unaware of until recently. That is, people fall asleep listening to me talk. It's okay. I fall asleep listening to recordings of my voice too. Now, while normally that wouldn't be something to be proud of, I've decided maybe I can use this power for good. Remember, I'm the girl who really adores stories, reading out loud, and would love both to share that passion with others and, on top of that, to help people relax and disconnect from all the stressors of the world. So I've decided this is a cool thing and something I want to explore. That brings me to the second show, Soothing Stories Podcast. With this one, I want to record high-quality, headphones-friendly, deliciously immersive, and utterly relaxing tales. Simple as that. There are so many stories to tell, be it old classics that need to be picked up and dusted off, Japanese folk tales that have never been translated into the English language before, or my own. I'm always writing short stories, getting asked to participate in anthologies, and then there are the several novels and mid-grades that I've started but are awaiting to be finished. I want to keep reading and writing and getting better at this storytelling thing, and I want to share it with you. So what does your support mean to me? And by me, I mean us. There are 3 of us working on the shows. Aside from me, There's my audio technician and magician, Rich Pav, and my music and moody sound guy, Julian Ray. We really do invest a lot of time in each episode, and I hope it shows. We love doing it, and your support allows us to improve, to continue, and to try new and more exciting ideas. And of course, there's also web hosting, website domains, equipment, and audio software, and stuff like that. But what do you get if you become a patron? In my case, I have different tiers with different rewards, which you can look at if you're interested. But by far the most popular level is $5 a month. Here, you'll get a monthly bedtime story. This is usually an obscure Japanese folktale translated, retold, and sometimes reimagined by me. You'll also get the monthly soothing stories, which are old gems by well-known or not-so-well-known authors. But here on Patreon, you'll get them without any long intro or ads. And that's not all. There is still some extra audio content that I put up when I can, like the binaurally recorded soundscapes, frogs in a rice field, crickets by a stream, or a walk through a busy Kyoto train station. Things like that. Plus the occasional recipe, if you're interested in that. So, if you haven't fallen into a deep slumber by now, I want to thank you for searching for this page, clicking on this video, and watching till the end. Now, if you have dozed off, hey, my superpower works.